cool. The next benefit we have is what's called the Child Safe ID kits. Now these are critical because they deal with our children's safety. You know, we've all had that fear. You turn around and your kid's gone and you start to panic. Luckily, they usually come running back. But most families we sit down with, their biggest fear is child abduction. What would happen if your child was unexpectedly taken from you? You know, do you have all the information to get to the proper authorities in time? So this takes care of that. What this is you would put their children's name right here and the date you completed it on. And you open it up. You're putting all the permanent information, their hair color, eye color, and pen, and all the updatable information in pencil. Then you're going to the physical description. So you want to put, if they have braces, you know, glasses, a birthmark, write it down and put it on their body over here. Next is the fingerprint information. You want to go left to right with the ink blotter so it doesn't smear, and then attach a hair sample. So you just need one piece. So if you're arguing with your kids, maybe you should wait, hold off and do it a little bit later. And then you want to attach a photo on the back. You want to make sure this is a school photo, something where it's just them in the picture. You know, and then put the age that you took the photo and the date the photo was taken. On the back is just some good pointers. You know, you try not to put your kid's name on their book bags when they're going to school. God forbid someone said, "Hey, Olivia, come here, your mom's in the hospital." Is she gonna go with them? Probably, because she's scared what's happening to mom. So you want to come up with a safe word. If she were to go to her and say, "Hey, Olivia, you know, I work with your mom. She is in the hospital. She wanted me to get you. Your password is celery." She'd feel a little bit more comfortable and she knows she's protected. So, what you have qualified for is the Premier Family Care Plan. Now, your contribution, should you choose to enroll, is $30 a month. Now, how do we come up with $30 a month? It's called the Hour Power of Principle. So what this does is it says that you pay up to 1 hour of your work week, and then whatever you two decide to do with the other 39 hours plus overtime is completely up to you. But you can sleep better at night knowing that all your gaps are filled and everything is protected. You know, so what we say is, if I were to come to your work week, if I were to come to you at work and say, "No, Amy, I'm putting you on a permanent 41-hour work week," are you going to go out and buy a new car with that extra hour? Probably not. But if I were to reverse that and take away that hour, are you going to go and sell everything you own to make ends meet? No. So we want to make sure it's affordable, and that's where we come up with that $30 a week. So, have you ever been on the financial end of arranging a funeral before? No? Okay. Well, most funerals typically cost about $14,000. And most families I sit down with don't realize that insurance companies aren't handling funeral costs the way that they used to. You know, what used to happen is if something, God forbid, happened to Matt, you would take his insurance policy, bring it to the funeral director, and that would serve as collateral until the insurance check showed up. But it doesn't work like that anymore. You know, insurance companies used to have to pay on a policy within 24 days. They now have up to 60 days that they can hang on to that policy. And can you guess why? Interest, yes. Millions and millions of dollars they make off the interest. And that's why so many families are burdened with the out-of-pocket costs when it comes to funeral time. So that is why they've came up with this. It's the Freedom of Choice Funeral Certificate. You know, and the way this works is if, God forbid, something happened to Matt, you know, cancer, internal disease, you know, it could be 50 years from now, could be tomorrow, God forbid. All you would do is simply bring this to the funeral director and they would accept it. And in fact, they love it because it's backed by a big, powerful union like yours, and they know they're going to get paid. So let's say you want that traditional funeral like you talked about earlier. What they're going to do, you know, the funeral, casket, flowers, gravesite, let's say it costs $15,000. What you're going to do is you're going to write $15,000, fill out all the arrangements, and you're going to sign as the beneficiary, bring this to any funeral home in the United States, and absolutely everything is going to be taken care of. Not one out-of-pocket cost, as long as you keep Matt's funeral under $20,000, and Matt, you keep Amy's funeral under $20,000. Now, those are two very important numbers, because as soon as you walk out of the funeral home, they're going to get on the phone, call us at our corporate number right here, and they're going to ask two very important questions. One, are you enrolled in the program? Which you will be, not a big deal after you leave here tonight, after I leave here tonight. And then two, how much did Amy have to work with? Well, if I told the funeral director that you had $20,000 to work with, how much money do you think your funeral is going to magically cost?
$20,000.
$20,000, exactly. It shouldn't work that way, and we don't allow it to work that way. What we do is we never reveal this number, and we ask that you never reveal this number. What we'll do is simply write them a check for the $15,000 and then cut you and the kids a check for the rest. It's the cleanest, easiest, most compassionate way to take care of what we all know is going to inevitably happen to all of us. You know, it's kind of like a prearranged funeral. Have you ever heard of a prearrangement?
No.
No, okay. Prearrangements are great in concept. You know, they take care of everything prior to death. But this is the exact same thing, except it's permanent and portable. You know, prearrangements can cost up to $100 a week, and you're locked into one place. Then you only get out of it what you pay into it. This you can take to any funeral home, and it's a blank check for $15,000 or $20,000. You're both going to get. Do you see how important that is?
I do.
Absolutely. Matt, why do you think that's so important?
She's protected. Everything's paid for. Peace of mind.
Absolutely. Now, the next benefit, our hospital supplements. It's our living benefits. You know, this is why most families enroll into our program. You know, let's say little Samantha's outside. She's on the playground. She falls and she sprains her ankle. Where are you guys headed?
Emergency room.
The emergency room, absolutely. You have to leave work for a few hours. Now, what is your copay typically?
$100.
$100. All right. $100 is $100. So you're out of work for a few hours. You paid that $100. What this benefit does is for any accident, whether you step on a nail, you sprained your ankle, nothing internal, so no stomach aches or I don't feel good. But for any accident, it's going to pay you up to $200 every time, and it's unlimited. So say you had to go to the hospital or the emergency room 3 times a year. That's an extra $600 in your pocket. Next is say it was a little bit more intense. This is critical. Matt was to go to the store, get a gallon of milk. Some idiot behind him smashes into the back of him, and now he's put into the hospital. You know, every day he's confined in the hospital, they're going to pay him $400 up to 365 days. And this is per occurrence. So let's say he got out after that 10 days, and next month he's right back into it. They're going to pay him another $400 for another up to 365 days. So he was in there for that 10 days. They're going to write you a check for $4,000. It's not going to the hospital. It's not going to the insurance. It's going to you. And then the last one is intensive care unit. Say things got a little worse. They're going to pay you $800 per day that you are in the intensive care unit for up to 14 days. So they cap it at 14 days because, let's be honest, anything more than 14 days, you're most likely going to be using that funeral benefit. You know, and if not, you don't lose it. It just reverts back to that $400 a day for up to 365 days. So you're getting both your funerals covered and all the accidental benefits for that same pizza and wings a week. Another awesome thing is that this is strike and layoff proof as well. So say your company were to go on strike, we're going to cover your premiums for up to 1 year. And same with the layoff. God forbid, if you were laid off, we would cover your premiums for 3 months. Now, what other company in the world would do that? You know, call your car insurance company and tell them, hey, I'm getting laid off. I need you to help with my premiums. They're going to tell you to take your vehicle off the road. So this next option is pretty simple. Are you going to go with option A, which covers everything that we talked about for that $30 a month with your funeral and living benefits? Or option B, which instead of semi-inflation proofs your funeral, instead of that $20,000, you're going to get $10,000 and still get all your living benefits. You know, most families we sit down with go with option A, but this has to be right for you. So which option works better for you? Option A or option B?